Hello my fellow supports, HotRod08 here, and welcome to another Support VOD review video, where every single week I'll look over one of your games that you submitted to me in order to go over it, try to give you some tips and tricks as to what you can do better, as well as give you a little bit of praise if you do something well. But today we are going to be going over Silver III's game, who lives in North America and is currently in Silver III, and today is going to be playing a game of Sona. Now before we get into his game, if you yourself are interested in submitting one of your own games to possibly be reviewed in an upcoming week, click on the link in the top right corner of this video for the tutorial on how to submit a game. But around that, let's get into it. Alright, so we are in our game now, and let me find our fellow, find our support player real quick, if I can ever push the right button. That is not it. There we go, there is our Sona player. I'm still learning the HUD screens real quick. Now, the very first thing I want to note in this game is I am extremely surprised to see this Sona in this game versus this enemy comp. One, you have Blitzcrank bot, which is like one of the worst supports to ever play as against when you're the support player. And they also have a lot of CC between the Malphite and the Yasuo, and even the Xayah can put down some CC. So they've got a lot of things for this Sona to be worrying about. So before this game even truly starts, the first thing I'm going to note is to select what games you truly want to play Sona in, because this seems like a game that could go really, really wrong if you just make one misstep, as Sona isn't really a good blind pick choice. And this doesn't seem like a game where you just be like, oh, this is like a absolutely great Sona game. So I'm questioning the Sona pick this game, but we'll see exactly how you do with it. So let me write that down real quick. Alright. This is also a really risky path to be going, especially against the aggressive lane here. You guys really should have path on the outside. It doesn't bite you guys in the butt this game, but as I said, if you make one misstep and you accidentally missed that auto as well, I think you could have got that Xayah if you would have clicked correctly. But making sure you path around, especially when you're not going to have the priority, is going to be a lot safer than going through that bush, because you would have been wasting a flash there if they would have been in it, which would not have been good for you guys at all. Now, I see you have a ward down here. So, when you have this amount of minions, that was a good poke right there. When you have this amount of minions, it's safe to be this far forward as long as you know where this Graves is. I don't know if you've seen him or not. Well, now you have, so you know you can be a little bit more aggressive with that Graves being right there. Because the best bet for you guys to win this lane, if you're actually going to win it, is to get as much poke down as you can possibly early. This Blitzcrank is playing really far back, which is surprising. I'm not 100% sure what he's doing, but it's definitely hoping you guys get some priority in the lane. I just realized that your mana flow ban just got up, even though you hit her with a Q. So you need to get that mana flow ban all the way up to that 250 mark ASAP. So you need to pick what times you use your Q on enemy champions as Sona, so you can get that reset on the mana flow ban to get it up as fast as possible, because I think you used that Q right before it was off that cooldown, so you didn't get the mana you could have possibly gone off it. So remembering to make use of that mana flow ban and take that into consideration when you play. Now let's see, she doesn't have a ward. It doesn't look like neither of you have a ward to go. There we go. Now you have a ward. So yeah, it's okay playing back just a little bit there, being safe. I guess until you got that ward, that's not the absolute worst thing in the world I've ever seen. As here, Right now, it just seems really scary. I know Graves is all the way up here, not giving you a threat. But I'm not sure if you guys, if you know that or not. Because having this river warded so you know if a gank's coming or not seems pretty vital for this matchup. Make sure that you're not going to be getting ganked and getting destroyed. You are getting some good damage off, and there you go. As I said, that Manflow band just got proc, so you just want to try to proc it every single time it's up with that Q, since it's really easy to hit, as well as you need to get that mana up to 250 ASAP so you can start spamming your abilities a little bit more often, have that passive mana regen. Now this Tristana really needs to learn how to rocket jump as that Blitzcrank hook is coming in. Now, you know his Q is on cooldown for another 5 seconds. You really should be being aggressive here. You need to learn how long that cooldown is, because his Q hook just got off cooldown. All that time you could have been trying to get a little bit more poke on this Xayah, be able to get that down. Also be proccing your Spell Thief in order to get a little bit more gold on that. Ooh, that was so close. If only one of you two could get killed. Now, she is being really greedy. You need to be playing up to try to get something. Now, it looks like she got baited by that, heal. Need to do just a little bit safer, because it looks like she still has her own heals left. Ooh, there you go. That was a nice poke. Oversay. Now you need to get out of there, just in case that Graves around, which he is at the moment. You need to be pinging your ally to be going back, just because you want to make sure that you guys aren't going to get ganked. Yep, and recalling in that bush is a little bit scary when you're facing a Blitzcrank. Overall, good kill. You haven't messed up in this lane yet. Your Tristana's even on CS for the most part, you know, not counting the Blitzcrank Relic shields. She's behind maybe like 3 CS, but overall it's pretty good at this point. Now, I do see that you went with the Dark Seal. Okay, you also had enough for the Fairy Charms. I was going to say, those Fairy Charms are vitally important to get on Sona early, just for the extra regen in the laning phase. But if you had enough money for both Dark Seal and the 2 Fairy Charms, that's more than okay. And you should be able to spam your abilities more in this game now that you have both of them. If I were you, seeing that she is so deep fighting, I would have actually pathed a little bit more towards this river just to make sure that you could have helped her. I've gone over a video on how pathing back to lane in order to get river wards is crucial. So your pathing, I don't think you needed to rush back to lane. So pathing all the way down to the river and getting that ward there and then coming back to lane through here probably would have been your better path. I'll send you a link to the ward pathing video. I'll put it in the comments section when I release this, or yeah, in the comments section pin when I release this. If you want to give that a review, probably would help you get a little bit extra vision and get that pathing better for both your team and your mid lane, everyone in general. Good. Looks like, yep, she's gonna go down. Yep, that's not good. Yeah, overall, that control ward would be better if it was all the way down in that bush as opposed to here, though, just for bigger vision. Even if that control ward is right there, that does help. It's nice to have both of them. And then have, like, your regular ward right there. I'll send you a link to that video, though, after this. It might help you a little bit with ward. Ooh. It looks like you're extremely lucky on that. Yeah, that ended up working out for you guys. But I don't think that was the correct way to bait that. I think that was just more lucky than anything on your part. I do like you're going back, not staying here, being risky. She has her own escape where you don't, and you're low health, so going back is nice. I said that Sona into Blitzcrank matchup is really hard. That could have gone really bad. You're lucky it didn't. But, yep, just watching out because even one Blitzcrank hook is going to get you from 100 health to 0 health if you're not careful. Write these down real quick. So at this point, you guys are doing pretty well in this laning phase, as long as you just play it safe and let yourself scale up a little bit and get a little bit of poke down when you can safely. This is going to work out pretty well for you because Blitzcrank just isn't causing the pressure that he needs to be. Whereas you're getting those good poke damages on him without really getting too much of retaliation back by any means. Now, I saw that the blue side pinged Infernal Dragon. That is something you guys will eventually want to work out for. Ooh, that was a good Blitzcrank hook, but this Xayah messed up. She could have gotten that kill. It looks like he does eventually get it, and I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, that was just a mistake on that Blitzcrank's part. Tristan could have also gotten out of there easier, and the Xayah could have pushed you guys a little harder. Probably would have won that fight a little bit more evenly. As I said, this is the Silver 3 at the moment, so not going to see the best of plays, but I don't think you guys have that much vision. No, you don't have any vision here. With you being so far low health and not knowing where everyone is, I really would have had you ward right here at least, so you could have had a little bit of extra vision just in case they would have come in and tried to turret dive you, because you're like one of the easiest people to turret dive. And I really wish you would have backed there, not canceled. You would have backed earlier because you do need to reset, get your health back up, and spend the money that you have, where now it's going to be a more awkward back timer. I wish I could see how much gold you have. I don't know how to have that functionality on here. And this Blitzcrank is just taking way too much damage. Alright, so you see him coming. Yep, and you're... with her right there, you probably could have gone a little bit more aggressive. Ooh. And that Blitzcrank yet again messed up. Trade worked out pretty well for you guys. Now is definitely the time for you to back. Make sure you're not going to die. And he's got double buff and full health, whereas you have half health, so you have to be really careful as to how you do this. Honestly, I think you're just staying in lane too long. I think he's fine on his own and doesn't need your support. And it looks like he's gonna stay back, whereas you need to go back to base yourself. There's no reason for you to be waiting around as long as you are. Okay, and it looks like you're gonna continue back now at least, but I think you're not backing as fast as you need to be. I think you're staying around a little bit too long at times, so making sure you have correct back timers is important. So got that written down real quick. 1 for 1. Looks like what, the 11 to 16 your team's doing pretty well. Really, it only looks like mid is the only lane that's having any problems. Even he has a turret at the moment. You're the only lane that doesn't have a turret, so really you're in pretty good spot at the moment. You're a lot better off than I would ever expected you to be in this game. And as you probably well know, Sona scales really, really well into the game, so you should be set as long as it doesn't have any issues anymore. If this Blitzcrank was any better, though, yeah, you're still gonna get punished. I want to go back 15 seconds. How that set up. You should be able to see the Blitzcrank right there, but you didn't know where the Xayah was. You just have to watch out when there's people with that much CC like Xayah. You really have to care for where you're walking. Even the Blitzcrank was there. Could have also had the Graves there, which you would have been completely screwed on as well. So Sona is that really hard support to play. Very rewarding if you can get through those. And he's just taking free hits for no reason. That was just, you just got caught out. And on Sona, that's the main thing you have to worry about, is getting caught out by anything by those means. When you didn't know where Xayah was, it was pretty risky to do that. Ooh, her precision tree just paid off there, giving her a little bit extra healing. So if I were you, I would be pinging your allies to try to be taking this turret, because they're just, with him going mid, I really just fine backing to get health, but you guys really should be prioritizing trying to get turret there, because them getting Herald for just a kill or two is actually worth it on their part if they can get turret out of it. So being a little bit more on point, trying to get those objectives, pinging to tell allies what you need to do. And yeah, you corrected yourself, but you started pathing the wrong direction at the beginning, which could have gone bad. Okay. Nah, you really need to not be leading this. I don't think your guys are really looking for a 3v3 fight here. So you want to make sure you're hanging back just a little bit more. On Sona, you really need to be on the cautious side of things, just to make sure you're not getting caught out on anything. Yeah, it seems like an awkward place for you to be. I'm not sure exactly why this Elise is chasing this by any means. Honestly, if I were you, you should recognize when these priorities are malaligned of your allies, because chasing this kill with this Elise just doesn't seem like the correct thing to do. I'm not sure why she decided to path all the way down here, but it's also your mistake to be following her out. Think you really should have. I think you should have stayed mid, try to work on that turret. It did work out in the end, but you chose a really risky path going through here, where you could have gotten hit by a multitude of things and possibly died just by taking that weird path. Elise is doing pretty well on kills, so she is leading a little bit. I just am questioning that pathing, since getting objectives is a lot more important than the kills. And if you guys really need to be, yeah, just leave her. Leave her. Someone's pinging, which is good. With you having 128 mana, it is just not worth staying there. And you don't have any wards from what it looks like, so yep, just backing there is the best thing to do. If you can, I would be trying to buy items just a little bit faster so you can get back to them. There we go. So we get ocean. It's not the absolute worst thing in the world. At this point, you need to be looking around the map as to what your next priority should be. Throughout the game, what objectives you can go through. It looks like Baron's going to be up in 43 seconds, so I feel like the top side of the map, along with that, pushing high-elo would be your next place to go to. I don't like you going through that river, though. Yeah, this... If he would have got a hook, you would have just got destroyed there. And you've got a team to support you, but you're... As Sona, you taking that path going through the center... being seen by this, they will have totally seen that you were coming. That Blitzcrank could have easily got a hook on you there, so you need to respect the Blitzcrank, even though his hooks haven't really been on point this game. Is going to save you a lot of deaths. This game, you're being lucky, but you're taking several paths that could... definitely get you killed. You guys also don't know where the Blitzcrank is, nor do you have anything to know that that's not warded, so that's another unsafe place to be yet again. And if I switch over, yeah, you have no vision of anything over there. So this is all just a risky place for you to be. Yep, and you're gonna get caught there. So... you need to be playing, when you're playing Sona, you need to play more with the mindset of not getting caught out. Taking better paths. Because this path, going down here to fight this, was just really unsafe. You also didn't have any vision of any of their jungle. And you could have gotten, and they had a ward under you too, so you could have easily got hooked by that Blitzcrank if he was being more aggressive. So being pathing safely around map is something that you need to work on, as well as having the correct vision to know you're safe when the enemy jungle. So, trying to get this Baron priority should be a priority of you guys. With you seeing them in the mid, though, yeah, you need to be pathing around to try to get this mid priority again and follow the rest of your teammates. How many wards do you have? So you have one ward left. Wrong button. Jeez. So, staying around with your team at the moment. It looks like you have enough visual on Baron, so you know if they're doing it or not. So that's not a worry by any means. So yep, right now, if I were you, I wouldn't even be trying to poke down that much, just because it's really risky. If you get hit by one Blitzcrank Q, you're just ending it for your whole thing. Yep, you just got annihilated. That Malphite just blew you guys up and said 1 CC, and you guys are going to absolutely lose that. So yeah, definitely staying back. Staying towards back of the team and not harassing unsafely is going to help you a lot. Not get caught in that, because that Malphite ult was completely preventable by you. You're just way too far forward with all the... As I said, they have a lot of CC on their team with you playing Sona, you have to respect all of, and you're way too far forward with the ability for Malphite to just instantly ult onto your team. And you saw, especially with the Yasuo combination for that, you're just going to absolutely get blown up if you're not respecting them. And in that case, you didn't respect them, and you ended up getting punished for it. So, Infernal's coming up in 38 seconds. You guys need to figure out whether you're going to be warding up for the Infernal Baron. I would say at this point, since everyone's bottom, you need to be pinging out your allies in order to try to set up for Baron side. I'm glad you're staying back just a little bit. I think you're actually being just a tiny bit too passive now, just because they're so far forward. And you know, with him being here and her being there, that you could be just a little bit closer towards them, and get a little bit more deeper vision. Looks like you're out of wards. Now, one thing, I haven't really seen you buying any control wards too much in this game either, now that I think about it. You've gotten some early, but I think you need to be buying a little bit more control wards later in the game in order to be making sure that Vision and Baron Pit and Dragon Pit is clear and that type of stuff. So buying a little bit more control wards is going to be something else that you need to do. Ooh, yep, killed. So I'm writing down this stuff real quick. So, see, right now, it looks like yet again you don't have any control wards, which is really important for you, especially since you only have the Eye of Frost, so you only get 3 wards with that. You really shouldn't have this Dark Seal at this point, this late in the game. This late in the game, you need those control wards. They're going to do a lot more than that Dark Seal is going to do for you. As well, I saw you're warding up here, and you're doing it really unsafely. Yet again, you could have easily got caught warding this deep without your team. You needed to wait until your team was up there. You need to ping your team in order to be here in order to ward these up, as opposed to you going by yourself, because when you're up here warding these, I saw Blitzcrank, I think it was, right here, could have possibly got a hook on you, whereas your closest allies were about back here. So you could have easily got caught, yet again, died, and that could have been Baron taken. That could have been the loss of that game. So, you need to work with teammates to ward areas. And you can do that either by saying in chat that you need to ward, or pinging that you need to go forward. Probably you could verbally say that one. 1 for 1, not the absolute worst at this point. So, you do have Vision of Baron yet again, which is good. I just probably was a little bit risky in order to get the Vision that you did. You needed to do it with allies, as I said. Ooh, and that was a good caught at the bloom, because that could have been a really easy trap to get somebody. With you knowing that they were up there, you really need to stick right next to your team, though. Wow. Now you guys are chasing way too much at the moment. You need to be, yeah, at least someone's pinging that you need to come up here. But chasing that kill, you're going to lose this mid priority, and you're also very possibly going to lose that top turret just for chasing that kill, which isn't exactly ideal. making sure you're not chasing kills as a team is important, as objectives are more important than losing, getting a kill. It was actually even a trade kill. Getting a trade kill and then losing a tower is definitely not worth the trade there. I think that was a little bit of a wasted ward too. I don't see why you needed a ward there. I think you need to save your wards just to get a little bit farther up vision, because as I said, you only have 3, and I'm assuming you still don't have control wards of any type. Nope, you don't. So conserving your wards, that was definitely useless. Ward, you need to work with your team to get a little bit more farther forward. Warding is a team effort. You definitely need to be working with the team in order to get those wards. Man, you would have been dead there yet again if he was able to actually land a hook. Yeah, you just... I'm assuming you guys didn't have vision. You had a little bit of vision. And he just absolutely messed up on his ult. Yeah, it looks like you guys got lucky in that fight. As Sona, someone with no escapes, and someone that's going to die really easily, you really need to be following other people's leads and not being the forefront for your team, because of that Blitzcrank yet again, we've got a hook there. And this Blitzcrank sucked. An average Blitzcrank probably would have been able to get a hook. That would have been a loss of Baron on your part. If this game was in Gold 3, Plat 1, that Blitzcrank would have got that hook, and that would have been a loss on that just because you were too far forward. So, again, positioning, you need to be, for Sona, it's a lot better to be over safe than be really risky, just because she has so many ways of getting blown up and no escape to get out of that stuff, and she's squishy. So, being safer with how you path where you're going, especially with how many hook champions and CC champions they have, is critical for your success as playing Sona. Now, it looks like you guys have one more team fight, so I'm gonna go up just a little bit. I'm assuming you guys are just going to try to get some priority. You've got your outer lanes pushing, so really at this point you just need to stay safe and wait for your team to push the leads in or initiate a fight. That works too. So this is going to be a fight that works out pretty well. You don't get caught. So I'm assuming that's just going to be the end of the game. So yep, he's going to get caught. You're focusing on objective. That's fine. Okay. That is going to be it. I highly assume. Although if there's more than one person there, you probably will have been dead. But overall, with how far you guys are ahead, that's not really going to be an issue. So, it wasn't the worst game for you guys by any means. You do have some things you could have worked on. Very last thing I noticed, that very last fight, I saw you autoed a minion yet again, and I've seen you earlier in today's game that you've autoed minions when you were trying to auto a champion, so learning how to click a little better is going to help you get off a little bit extra damage on enemies and actually get your effects off when you need them to. Just making sure that you're actually clicking the champion you actually want and not a minion. So let me get that down real quick. Alright, so my list for you today that I've written down, we'll go over. Real quick. So, being really conservative as to when you pick Sona is vital. Sona is not a blind pick worthy champion. There's so many counters, especially as you get higher and higher. Sona just it has so many bad matchups that is really hard. And going into Blitzcrank, Zaya, Malphite, and Yasuo, that is just death waiting to happen for you. And you were shown several times in this game that that could have gone really bad for you. So choosing the correct games, pick Sona, not blind picking her, is important. You guys earlier when you very first started the game, you should have pathed around, especially in such an aggressive lane up, not down through this river. That could have easily gotten you killed if they were waiting right there. That would have been a death waiting to happen, and a flash that you would use. Mana flow ban is really good on Sona. Make sure you use your Q ability early in the game to actually proc it. Don't use it too early because you're just wasting that potential of getting that mana earlier and that stacking faster. Also, as I said in the description, I'll put a link to the warding video. How to path back to your lane, be able to get extra better vision. Respecting the Blitzcrank hooks. There's so many times that Blitzcrank was just a little bit better, he would have absolutely got you killed many more times in this game. It was just he was just a terrible Blitzcrank. He ended the game 3-6-6. He could have done much better if he was actually more accurate with those hooks. And as you get higher up in rank, any Blitzcrank that you do play against is going to be a lot better. Pathing safely around map. There's so many times where you take in reckless ways to fight, such as when you're by yourself going down towards that fight that you could have very easily gotten killed. You're even chasing a Blitzcrank down by yourself, and if you would have got hooked, that Blitzcrank, the other ally, would have just absolutely destroyed you. So you really need to be mindful of your pathing around the map. Is with Sona when you have no escapes. So you need to stay towards the back of the team when you're when you're around your tower. You don't need to be frontline and trying to poke down. That's just way too unsafe for you. You really need to be staying towards the back so you can protect your AD carry if he gets jumped on, rather than actually getting caught out by like that Malphite when he got that triple ult on you guys and you just got completely decimated by the Malphite and Yasuo ult. So playing safely, not trying to poke enemies down when they have that much initiate. It's a lot better to be on the safer side than the sorry side. As just here, the next one I said is not harassing unsafely. Again, you're a little bit of poke damage you're getting with your Q is not worth the potential of getting hooked and getting ulted on. But Malphite, as you learned that lesson, you lost that team fight. You need to be better at pinging for objectives and leading, trying to get objectives taken, whether it's the dragon, trying to ward out your jungle, getting towers, that type of stuff. You need to take more leadership role of pinging where you guys need to be. Working with your teammates to ward is very important on supports that don't have escape. Sometimes if you're playing a support like Sona and you need to ward somewhere, you really need to go with allies. And it's just too unsafe for you to go by yourself and you can get easily blown up. So working with your allies is going to help you a lot. Ward smartly. Don't waste your wards, especially if you only have 3 wards for the majority of the game. Like that ward right here was pointless. You need to be saving it for those deeper wards in your own jungle. You need to be getting control wards more often. I saw after the laning phase, you almost never got control wards. You kept on that dark seal for way too long. You needed to sell it and get your control wards. They are very, very useful in carrying your games. They give extra vision. They, more importantly, show where the enemies don't have vision. You can do a lot with that, making sure they can't take objectives, like when you're in that Baron pit, making sure they didn't have vision in that. Setting up a bush, setting up in a bush for your allies to be able to wait for an enemy to go by. There's just many uses for control wards to deny enemies vision, use that to your advantage. And then finally, you just need to work on when you auto attack enemies, make sure you're actually clicking on them, not on an enemy minion. I've seen that early in the game at level 1 you attacked a minion instead of the champion. Also saw when you're down here in that very last fight against the Malphite, you also auto attacked a minion instead of the champion with your abilities. So that's all the tips I have for you today. Hopefully you'll be able to learn something. If you have any questions, feel free to message back in the comment section below of this video. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and if you're new here, subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications and get updated on all things support related. Streams are on YouTube on Mondays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and on Twitch randomly. So if you want to learn how to play support better from a Diamond player and have your questions answered live, feel free to join the stream community. If you're enjoying my content and want to consider supporting the channel, head over to my Patreon. There you can enjoy perks such as early releases of some of my videos, having me look at your op.gg and giving you suggestions, and having your name shout out at the end of my videos like these lovely people here who are already contributing to the channel. But around that, thanks for watching this video. I hope you learned something and you have a great day today. Thanks so much.